You are watching KVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman.
And I'm Trenton Whiting.
A fatality accident today on the corner of Port Lavaca Drive and South Bend Wilson left one man dead. A Chevy pickup truck driving southbound on Port Lavaca Drive struck a man riding a bicycle heading north on Ben Wilson. The bicycle rider, Robert Lee Villa, disregarded a red light at the intersection. The Chevy pickup approached the intersection with a solid green light and collided with Villa at the intersection. Emergency services transported Villa to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries.
Now, a story involving the Lavaca River. A company is looking to expand its operation with a new construction that could affect water flow and supply. Reporting by the Texas Tribune says the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality issued a draft permit to the LNRA to divert up to 31 billion gallons per year from the Lavaca River. The water would redirect to a proposed reservoir to be built on Formosa Plastics property. The Tribune reports it was the first time in 50 years LNRA requested additional water rights. There's local opposition to Formosa's expansion through a campaign called Stop the Lavaca River Dam. Organizations like the Matagorda Bay Foundation and the Texas Coastal Conservation Association are teaming up to raise funds and combat efforts to create the new dam. We're reaching out to both sides of this conversation to get more insight on the potential impact of a new reservoir.
The Victoria County Commissioner Court will meet on Monday, regular time at 10 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse, room 241, where they will discuss the approval of Victoria Regional Airport commercial flight promotion, clean energy programs, proposed adoptions of Victoria County PACE programs, and more.
The Yoakum City Council will meet Tuesday, February 11th at 5:30 p.m. at Yoakum City Hall to discuss several key items. These include street closures for the Land of Leather Days event on February 14th through the 15th, waiving community center rental fees for certain city-sponsored events, and input from Aaron Boxer on the Hub City RV Park. They will also consider a revised RV park policy. Updates to the city's job description manual and changes to the 2025 summer schedule for the municipal pool are also on the agenda.
With Super Bowl 59 just around the corner, the Texas Department of Public Safety is urging football fans and all drivers to make responsible choices on the road. As the Kansas City Chiefs takes on the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday, DPS troops will be out in full force across Texas to keep the roads safe. From 12 a.m. to midnight on Sunday, law enforcement will be on high alert, watching for speeding, impaired driving, and seatbelt violations. DPS remind everyone to plan ahead, designate a sober driver, use rideshare services, and always buckle up.
As New Orleans prepares to host Super Bowl 59, an extensive security plan is underway to keep players and fans safe. President Donald Trump and former First Lady Jill Biden will also be attending the big game, which means more security. Jen Sullivan reports on the extra precautions being taken.
New Orleans is getting ready to host Super Bowl 59, the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And while crews are putting the finishing touches on the field, law enforcement is taking every precaution on the streets.
We are going to have approximately 2,000 law enforcement officers throughout this week.
With 73,000 fans expected at the game, law enforcement says they'll have eyes in the skies with drones and helicopters, as well as street barricades and even boats in the river to patrol.
I have never seen this level of security in the city of New Orleans in all of my years.
The Super Bowl comes just weeks after New Year's Day celebrations in New Orleans were marred by a deadly terror attack. A man driving his truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street before being fatally shot by police. 14 people were killed and dozens more injured.
It was a horrible, reprehensible act.
Eric DeLawn with the Department of Homeland Security says that attack made them reassess their security plans, including bringing more federal law enforcement into the city. The New Year's Day attack raised questions as to why the city didn't have functional street barricades to protect the crowd celebrating, which is why they're ramping up security even more ahead of the Super Bowl.
We also have a national response team that will be on the ready and on standby, ready to respond if anything should happen.
Adding to the heightened safety concerns, President Donald Trump will be attending the big game, according to the White House. Former First Lady Jill Biden also expected to attend. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
So that's going to lead us to our viewer poll. What are your plans for the big game tomorrow? Watching the game with family and friends, hosting a party, attending a sports bar, or enjoying the game solo, which about 57% of people say that they're just going to kick it by themselves and watch the game. Just big sports fans, honestly.
Me too. At work.
Absolutely. No, you'll be with friends.
Yeah.
You'll be with friends. So you can go ahead and keep voting at our viewer poll, crossroadstoday.com/vote, and check into the big game if you got time. But, you know, right now we'll go ahead and check in with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining to see what kind of weather we're going to have for Super Bowl Sunday. Trey?
And look at the super forecast overall coming up. A little bit of fog overnight tonight. Current temperature very warm, 74 degrees currently on the outside, with humidity levels still quite high, 85%, adding that fog threat into the area coming up. Rain chances next week, yes. Cooler temperatures, also a yes. What days, though? We'll find out a little bit later on in the full forecast. Back to you guys.
Back here in the U.S., and that deadly commuter plane crash in western Alaska. Rescuers rushing to recover the victims, 9 passengers and 1 pilot, before severe weather moves in. Investigators are probing the case, and what we're learning is tonight. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Tonight, officials confirming all 10 people on board the Bering airplane that vanished over open water in Alaska are dead. The Coast Guard discovering the wreckage on sea ice Friday afternoon, 34 miles southeast of Nome, working around the clock to recover the bodies inside.
We do have a short window where we have weather, bad weather coming in, some snow, and please understand that some difficult conditions because this is on an ice flow, which is moving about 5 miles a day.
And tonight, loved ones identifying several of the victims. Roan Baumgardner and Cameron Hardvickson were traveling to Unalakleet to service a heat recovery system that is critical to the community's water plant, according to the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium. Alaska State Troopers reported 9 passengers and the pilot went missing Thursday afternoon shortly after taking off around 2:30 p.m., traveling from Unalakleet to Nome. Officials losing contact with the single-engine Cessna less than an hour after takeoff.
Low altitude alert, Bering Air 445. Check your altitude immediately.
Agencies, including the NTSB, Coast Guard, and Alaska State Troopers, using all resources to investigate why this crash happened. Flying is a crucial mode of transportation in Alaska. Most communities are cut off from main roads connecting to the larger cities.
Authorities say their priority tonight is recovering the bodies of the victims and then the remnants of the aircraft. The NTSB is leading the investigation into the cause of the crash. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The National Transportation Safety Board announced Saturday workers have recovered all major pieces of wreckage from the mid-air collision near Region National Airport. A regional American airline jet that left Wichita, Kansas, collided with a Black Hawk helicopter late January. All 67 people aboard the 2 aircrafts died in the collision. Workers first removed the victims from the crash scene and have spent about a week clearing the debris from the Potomac River. The NTSB is storing the wreckage at an airport facility so investigators can try to determine what caused the collision. The military says the Black Hawk helicopter was stationed at Fort Belvoir in Virginia. It was in a route training mission when the collision occurred. At least 10 cases of measles, 8 of which are among school-age children, have been reported in Gaines County in West Texas over the past 2 weeks, driving worries of an escalating outbreak. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. For more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Nestrain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Coming up, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu sent a delegation to Qatar to discuss the Gaza ceasefire hostage release.
And foggy conditions expanding across the area coming up about 11 o'clock into the early morning hours for your Sunday. Be careful driving out there, some low visibilities. What about weather change next week, which will include rain chances and cooler temperatures? Got both of those in the forecast. We'll tell you more coming up in the full forecast.
Welcome back. Elon Musk says he has no plans to buy TikTok. Musk made those comments 2 weeks ago during a virtual meeting at the World Economic Summit. The CEO of X, Tesla, and SpaceX said he had not put in a bid to buy the social media site and said even if he owned TikTok, he's not exactly sure he would not know what to do with it. The Chinese-owned app was set to be banned over national security concerns on January 20th. But President Trump gave the site owner ByteDance 75 days to sell TikTok to an American buyer, or it may have to shut down. ByteDance has said it doesn't have plans to sell, though some investors have publicly stated they are interested.
President Donald Trump is in Florida and was met with protest on Saturday. A group of about 30 people could be seen across the street from Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach this afternoon. The crowd gathered as part of a pop-up protest in opposition to Trump's immigration policies. Some of the participants could be seen waving flags and holding various signs. The president had previously spent time golfing with U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator Graham was also in attendance for a Republican dinner event hosted by the president at a Mar-a-Lago Friday evening.
To the latest on the Trump administration, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency teams has been temporarily blocked from assessing a critical Treasury Department payment system that distributed Americans' tax returns, Social Security benefits, disability payments, and federal employee salaries.
A federal judge in New York granting a temporary restraining order to 19 states, suing over Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency's access to highly sensitive taxpayer records. The judge ruling the states would face irreparable harm without injunctive relief because of both the possible disclosure of confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. New York's Attorney General Letitia James posting on X, "We want a court order blocking Elon Musk, the world's richest man, from accessing Americans' private data." On Friday, a different federal judge blocking the Trump administration's plan to put thousands of USAID workers on leave. It effectively pauses the ability to cut the federal relief agency. USAID provides food to 32 million malnourished children and funds projects to fight epidemics. Across the country, growing protests over Musk's expanding role in the government. President Trump says he wants Musk to go even further, slashing spending at the Department of Education and the Pentagon.
I'll tell him to go here, go there. He does it. He's got a very capable group of people.
It raises concerns about potential conflicts of interest. Companies owned by Musk have billions of dollars in contracts with the military. Meanwhile, Trump has announced he has revoked former President Biden's ability to have daily intelligence briefings. It's a courtesy given to former presidents. Biden did that to Trump after the January 6th riot. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
An upstart union is attempting to represent more than 4,000 Amazon workers in North Carolina. The National Labor Relations Board is overseeing a 6-day vote starting Monday on union representation at an Amazon facility in Garner, North Carolina. A win for Carolina Amazonians United for Solidarity and Empowerment would mark just the second union victory at Amazon. Despite North Carolina's low union membership, cause leaders are confident. Amazon argues workers prefer a union-free environment with starting wages of $18.50 per hour and top pay of $23.80. Union organizers are pushing for $30 an hour. Even if they win, it could take years to negotiate a contract.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu plans to send a delegation to Qatar to further discuss the Gaza ceasefire and the release of hostages held by Hamas. An Israeli official tells CNN that a mid-level delegation will head to Qatar to discuss technical details of the Gaza ceasefire agreement, but not the second phase, which started 6 weeks after the first phase ended. The ceasefire began on January 19th. Netanyahu met with President Trump this week, vowing to destroy Hamas and bring home Israel's hostages after the release of 3 more captives on Saturday.
Gamers, including myself, who use Sony's PlayStation Network are connected once again after a massive outage knocked out service that lasted about 24 hours. The outage happened Friday night. Sony says PlayStation Network has about 116 million monthly users. Back in 2011, almost all of PlayStation Network subscribers lost access to its services for nearly a month following a data breach. Right now, it is unclear what caused the most recent outage.
Now experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
The outside had clear skies today with not a lot of sunshine around the region. Temperature is well into the warm category above 80 degrees. A little bit of fog forming along the coast. You kind of see it a little bit there. The satellite view here, expanding inland as you go throughout the early morning hours. What does your week hold in store next week? Cooler temperatures and rain will be part of it. We'll take a look coming up in your forecast. Good Saturday evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. And cool temperature is actually not too far away from about Austin area to the north. This is high as expected for tomorrow. The cool front getting closer to us, but not moving through quite yet. It'll be above 80 degrees for your day tomorrow, pretty much around the Crossroads region, front just to our north. And it'll eventually make its way through, but it'll take a little while before it does so, waiting for a push behind it to get it pushed all the way offshore, which will happen eventually. And temperature is coming up for your day today, we're well into the 80s. And they will cool off into the 60s. I guess you can say that's cool, not too much overall. But notice here, 10 a.m. on your Sunday, we're 73 degrees in Victoria, 66 degrees in Gonzales. Front lies about right here, and it's waiting for a push to push it to the south, and which will happen eventually. But because of its location here, not moving too much for immediately time period, we'll still be on the warm side for your day tomorrow. High temperatures well into the 80s. And then it finally gets a push coming up by Monday to push it all the way out in the Gulf of Mexico coming up. So it will be definitely cooler, as you see, coming up at 5 a.m. Monday, 50s and 60s for the overnight lows. And we'll be cooler overnight lows and daytime highs as well. But better rain chances eventually as well coming up. Front to the north, staying there for the next day or two, pretty much for your Sunday as we work slowly to the south, pushing offshore coming up by your day on Monday late in the day, and pretty much hanging along the coast, waiting for another push coming in by the middle part of the week to push it all the way offshore, bringing a much cooler air into our region here. We'll see definitely more like a jacket weather experience coming up for us toward the end of the week, with better rain chances as well. Here comes the cool air coming in Wednesday to Thursday. That's what we need to get this front offshore and give us some cooler temperatures as well, and some rain chances eventually as we go through time coming up, especially toward the middle part of the week into the end of the weekend pretty much as well. Quail, we're starting out with morning fog again tomorrow morning. Be careful out there, it'll be thick at times. And then after that, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. A few clouds in the atmosphere, otherwise sun shining brightly. High temperatures near 80 degrees. We're still south of the front in Quail area. Same thing for Port Lavaca. On the bayfront, a little bit of the sea breeze trying to keep us cooler there, but not doing too much. Overall temperatures near 80 degrees by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. With morning fog, partly cloudy skies throughout the entire forecast period during the morning time and afternoon. Victoria, the same. Morning fog. Be careful driving early after about midnight or so to about 8 or 9 in the morning. So be careful going out during that time period. Partly cloudy skies otherwise, high temperatures near 80 degrees, southerly winds, bringing that moisture in. Now take a look at this, looking at our forecast coming up. Tomorrow morning fog, otherwise nice and sunny conditions, warm, high temperatures near 80 degrees. Rain chance increasing slowly but surely on Monday. Better chances Tuesday and Wednesday, the front moves through, and better moisture content in the atmosphere. And temperatures dropping as we see temperatures in the 60s for highs coming up for Thursday into Friday. with low temperatures in the 40s by then. Another rain chance by Saturday with the next front. So good rain chances here midweek. And then finally some cooler temperatures, feeling more like it should around here coming up toward the end of the week. So get those blankets and jackets out. We're definitely needing them by then. Take a look at this right here. This is your QR code. Get your smartphone. As you know, scan the code. That'll take you to a web page. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge to have on your phone to be connected with us. What's going on in the Crossroads? Speaking of sports, yes, I am. Let's take a look and see what Ray Robinson has.
Thank you, Trey. We're taking you to the pools as St. Joe High School gets ready for some state competition. We'll hear a few words from the athletes and more coming up in sports. Taking a dive into some competitive swimming in the Crossroads, St. Joe High School is getting ready for state, and we were able to catch up with a few swimmers to talk about the upcoming event. This Tuesday, the lights will be bright in San Antonio as St. Joe High School prepares to send several swimmers from their school to represent the private school sector in state competition. Captain Liz Porche takes pride in leading the team and feeling that she's prepared the team to be successful on the big stage by learning more about their strengths and weaknesses.
It's really great being able to help all the new swimmers learn what works for them, how they can do their best and help them succeed to the best of my abilities. Something I've learned is that everyone's different. I know that what worked for me is really specific to me, and learning about other swimmers, especially the new swimmers, and learning what works for them to help them get better.
Jackson Souther, who recently broke the record at St. Joe for the 100-yard freestyle, will be racing and looks to capitalize the momentum and apply what he's recently learned from this technique.
I definitely learned some more technique, like my freestyle technique and my fly technique for overall. And I learned that these new freshmen that just came in are really good and really nice, and they're good swimmers.
And Jack Ganado recounts how the good times and hardships made for success in the bonding.
It's really been great. I mean, we've been through hard times and then some easy times, but I think those hard times make us bond closer as a team, you know. And then it's just been a really fun year, you know.
Speaking of St. Joe High School, their boys basketball team took on St. Mary's Hall last night, and they were victorious. Final score, 59-41. This appeared to be a rescheduled game because they were supposed to take place at St. Mary's, but due to the weather, it was pushed back. And alrighty, Crossroads, the time has finally come to celebrate our Ganado Indians. Last December, we saw them become your Class 2A Division I state champions, beating Stanford in a triple overtime thriller. After various cancellations, we can celebrate the Indians. Now, here's what's going on tomorrow. The parade will be in downtown Ganado at 2 p.m. and the celebration will be inside Indian Stadium at 2:30 p.m. So before the big game, feel free to celebrate the Indians and congratulate them in Ganado. And speaking of the Super Bowl, did you know that this Super Bowl is one of the cheapest Super Bowls in recent memory? One of those reasons to explain the drop in Super Bowl ticket prices is the location. New Orleans, compared to Vegas, which was hosted last year's Super Bowl, was a top tourist city in the U.S. And according to SeatGeek, the ticket price for a nosebleed at this year's Super Bowl is $4,800, compared to last year's nosebleed, which ranged from $6,500 to $7,500 for a nosebleed. Now, Amaya and Trenton, how much do you guys spend on a Super Bowl ticket?
Why are you looking at each other like?
Realistically, we could all just buy one ticket, stack up, and wear a long trench coat, you know, so they would think that we're one person.
Where is this going?
You've never seen that before?
No. Okay, this didn't go nowhere, but stay with us. Coming up, we want you to see a New Jersey supermarket held a Taylor Swift and a Travis Kelce look-alike contest Friday night. All this and more coming up. A New Jersey supermarket held a, well, this thing got stuck. But a New Jersey supermarket held a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce look-alike contest where people come into the store and they did a contest if that person looked like Travis Kelce or if that person looked like Taylor Swift. They even tried to mimic them, and in the contest, if they won, they would have got a free Philly cheesecake. That was something interesting when it comes down to that, when it's like trying to mimic your favorite celebrity.
You know, for some free food, I could do that, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You sure can.
In the 6, they said I look like Michael B. Jordan, but they also said I look like Kyler Murray. So I think I could get away with that.
That's a
I
good
think
choices.
that's a little more.
And I look like Beyonce. But Trey, how's the weather going to be looking like for Super Bowl?
Not bad at all. Super weather for us. A little bit foggy tomorrow morning. Be careful out there. Otherwise, sunny skies. High temperature near 80 degrees. Notice the rain chances coming in for Tuesday. You're starting off small, 20%. Better chances Tuesday and Wednesday front moves through. So getting some rain chances by then. Notice cooler temperatures, highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s coming up for Thursday and Friday. Feeling a little more like February should by then. A little bit of rebound coming up by Saturday with another rain chance by then. Highs in the 70s. So overall, a little bit more change this week. Last week was pretty much warm all week long. Not the case this week. Half of it warm, half of it on the cool side. So, and catching some rain too as well.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be hot, but then it's going to be, you know, we have rain.
So
that's a good thing. We finally got rain again.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. But thank you for being with us. Make sure you join us for tomorrow for 25 News Now at 5:30 and 10. Have a good night.